When I was a practicing journalist, a decade or more ago, I was trained by people such as Anton Haber and Michael Schmidt, lots of them. I was trained by the best, actually. So we used to do these courses at the Institute for the Advancement of Journalism. Sometimes we did them at Wits University. So we did project-based investigative journalism. During one of those trainings, which were lots and lots of them, we're told that if you are a journalist and you're investigating a corruption case, let's say it involves a lot of money, and you want point of view of the person who's being implicated, and you give them a call, and they offer you money to kill the story, as you've seen with the story of the investigation that was done by Peter. And you are an honest journalist, you don't take bribes from sources. And they threaten you that if the story comes out, something bad is going to happen to you. You have got two options. Option one is you abandon the story altogether and say, look, I'm not going to do the story. Hold your fire, so that they don't see the need to kill you. Option two is you publish what you have already gathered, what you've already collected, and do indicate that you did approach the other source to give them the right of reply, and instead they decided to threaten you that they're going to do something bad to you. Maybe you can even say they threatened to kill you. That becomes insurance, because now that the story is out there, they're thinking if something happens to this journalist, everyone is going to look at us. So that might be your insurance, or it might not be your insurance. You might choose not to publish a story, and they might kill you and have a false flag, and it looks like you actually just had a car accident, because nobody knows what story you're doing. So you'll die and nobody will know why you died. I'm raising these issues because part of what I'm going to say today is informed by my training as an investigative journalist, follow the money journalist. The moment I heard 3 days ago that the former Minister of Police and Minister of Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa, who was now ambassador to Paris, to France, has died, the very first thing I said was, somebody killed him. Somebody got him. And it was at the time that, he disappeared and committed suicide. The suspicion that somebody got him actually came on the day that they said, the night that they said it disappeared. 29th, the night of the 29th, I think, of September. And when I told a radio station, YFM, they called me to get my point of view, and I was very honest with them. I said, look, somebody killed him, somebody assassinated him, and that was a tragedy that people will now go and get you even when you're in foreign countries to kill you. I still don't have a doubt that he's been killed. I don't know, by the time you watch this video, I don't know if a story would have broken that he's been killed, but I was adamant about it from the first minute. So I also told another station, Rise FM, later in the evening, we spoke about it. I said, look, I can put it on record that he's been killed. Now, what made me really believe that he's been killed? All the ingredients are there of a thriller. You can call it Murder in Paris. Murder in Paris. You can call it Murder in Paris, that somebody got to him and killed him. The ingredients are simple. Number one, such important people don't fall from high-rise buildings, skyscrapers, because such important people don't go to windows. What are you going to look for? You're an ambassador of a country. You don't have a reason to go to a window and say, let me look out. Let me peep outside and end up falling. You only fall when somebody's pushed you. In most cases, people don't fall from buildings. That is why the initial intention of whoever killed the ambassador was that it must look like a suicide. The messages that were sent from a park, a botanical garden in Paris, indicate to the wife, indicate that somebody wanted it to look like a suicide. So whenever they say somebody's fallen from a building, don't believe the story of a suicide. When you want to die, people are afraid of pain. They know easiest ways of dying. They drink pills. They'll get pills, and then they'll drag themselves to death. They will get a firearm. They'll shoot themselves dead. People are not wired for pain, so they will take the shortcut. The falling from the 22nd floor is it's a very long drive. Now, here are the building blocks to what I don't really intend to be a conspiracy, but to be a story that's going to come out. People of Mthethwa's caliber have got a lot of adversaries and a lot of enemies. The reason he was sent as an ambassador was not because he was the most colorful diplomat. He was the most person educated in international relations. He was a bridge builder. No, he was not. Everywhere where he's been, when he was in arts and culture, people were complaining about him wanting to centralize the narrative. When he created the CIFSA, the Creative and Cultural Industry Federation of South Africa, that the aim was really to centralize the narrative to make sure that artists need to sing to a certain tune. I'm not saying that was the truth, but that was what was said at the time, that was the intention of the minister at the time. And a lot of money got gobbled by CIFSA without any input, without something to show. And when Minister Mackenzie, the Zionist, came to power, one of the things that he was really doing was to hound the CIFSA people, deny them money, try to get them to account. And most of them couldn't do it. They couldn't account for the money that was given to them. So that's what he's been doing. And he went to France to attend some of the events that are happening in France, South African events, when the former minister was there. So I don't really think the relationship could have been more kinder when you are busy hounding the minister's legacy and you're going to a country where the minister is an ambassador, which means you can't go there without facilitating through the embassy. So he had adversaries. Adversaries are not enemies. I'm not using it to mean that just people that don't agree. But the minister had enemies. He's been fingered. His name has been mentioned quite recently in the commission, Madlanga Commission, that was started by the expose of Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. So he's been fingered there as well. And the commission had an intention of dragging everyone else to come and testify to make sure that the smoke is cleared and people can be able to see through the fog. And he died. And the reasons were really that, look, the South African embassy in Paris is a very beautiful, majestic building, and the ambassador's residence is just around there. So if I visited France and I'm a friend of the ambassador, Mthethwa, and I called him, I'll be in France. I'm sure he'd love to invite me for coffee. He would have loved to invite anyone for coffee at his residence, because it's a home that's being maintained by his wife. So everybody wants you to see the pictures, the digital, the pictures are there in the house. And if you went there for business reasons, diplomatic reasons, he would have wanted to meet you at the embassy, because the embassy is a space where government does business. So there is an incentive for the ambassador to want to meet people at the embassy, which is where he meets. And not discounting that the ambassador could be invited to attend events outside. As the last time that they walked out, they never came back. They said there was a cocktail party he was going to attend. So any investigation, I'm bringing my investigative journalism now. Any investigation starts with a diary to say, PA, what was penciled on the ambassador's diary? Was it penciled that the ambassador is going to even an event? What event was there? Let's see the invite. Go to the emails of the embassy. The secretary should have them. Which organization invited the ambassador to which event? Did you RSVP? What was the number for confirmation? What was the email for confirmation that was going to come? You start there. Was it an invitation? It came from where? What is the RSVP? What were the details? What organization was that? Who conducted the background on that organization? Because the reason why in embassies we'll have intelligence people, the intelligence attaches, not just to liaise with the domestic intelligence, but also to make sure that from an intelligence point, from a security point, the embassy is safe. So when they say an organization called ABZ invites the minister. It's up to the intelligence person to check whether ABC is a company that is there, credible, who supports it, who funds it, whether the directors. If they can't get the information from their sources there, they now check with home and other sources, and that's their job. So who invited the minister? That's where we start. Let's see the email. Let's see the RSVP. Let's see that too. The minister left driven by, one assumes, the driver, the staffer from the embassy, somebody who works for the embassy. This might be a South African hired by the embassy or a French person hired by the embassy to do the driving for the minister. Let's talk to that person. Where did the car go? Where is that person now? Where did the car go? Security person in the car, there was a security person. What did they observe? Cameras around the embassy, cameras in the embassy. We know now that the minister didn't go directly to the hotel, that there's a call that was placed and the phone was found at the park at the Botanical Garden. Let's get CCTV, let's get security cameras at the garden. Who was there? Who arrived? Who did the minister meet there? The message itself to the wife, how was it written? Is it like written in the language of the minister? Because you can sense when these things are not going according to plan. The hotel itself, they said the booking was done 10 days earlier. Who did the booking? And when the booking has been done 10 days earlier, who are the other people who used the same rooms 10 days prior? Because those people is going to be important, because they say, if somebody says the window's been tampered with, now best believe the person who tampered with the window was once booked in that hotel. So for the 10 days that the booking has been done, who else stayed in that hotel room? Who stayed over the 10 days? Who is that person? It booked under whose name? How was payment made for the booking of that hotel? So those are the things, the CCTV of the hotel over the 10 days. Those are the things that are actually going to be helpful. So the minister, if the minister got there, who is he with? Cameras in the lobby, everything else, and also the fact that they say the minister jumped from that building. The hotel is 3.2 kilometers from the embassy. So if it's 3.2 kilometers from the embassy, the question is, why would the minister want to meet? But he also didn't go there directly, as evidence showed that he went by a botanical garden. So even if that is the case, they say the minister was discovered the following morning. My bet is if you fall from 22 floors, you'll be so mangled that even a contractor security, as they say, a security guard found him, will find the body, but it should not be easy for somebody to decide within a few hours that, no, this is the body of XYZ. There will need to be DNA tests. The wife need to come, say, no, this is him. But also you need further. And so probably there are cameras there that happened, because the story about the minister apologizing to the wife saying, what I'm going to do, it's not true. I'm sure the phone that was found, the fingerprints have been wiped, because fingerprints being wiped clean also means that somebody who typed there was not the minister. But even if there's a minister's fingerprints, we have got technology these days to look at key locks, the typing speed, the typing pace. Some of those things can be deciphered. And for obvious reasons, finally, every government country that has got embassies, to a lesser extent, they are able to provide security by also doing a listening in on some of the communication. Not legally, they do it because they have to do it. One hopes French intelligence will be able to come up with the details and say, look, based on what we've been observing, we've been intercepting the emails, the chats, the telecommunications. This is what we're getting. This is the digital footprint that we're getting. So, saying there was a murder in Paris, and maybe South Africans will be told that there was a suicide in Paris. But there was a murder in Paris. And it's just said that you can't even speculate what the motives were. But as Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo at the commission, by the time I'm recording this, he's been taken ill though, said that sometimes when they do investigations, they focus not on the person. They look at the person dead, but now these days they actually do on the reason of who stand to benefit from this person dying. That's how they're doing investigations now. Maybe that's where we should start. They should start to say who stood to benefit from Ambassador Mthethwa being dead. And once you can answer that question, the suspects are just going to come down instead of saying why was he killed. Don't say why was he killed. Nobody knows why was he killed, but who stood to benefit from his death. So let's hope this is going to be solved. It's a story I'm going to be doing, I think, a couple of times now as it unravels, because it's a very interesting story. Like and subscribe so that you can follow up my investigations, as I'm bringing a lot of knowledge into this. ASAP is the name of the channel, A South African Perspective. Like and subscribe so that you can be up to date about this unfolding story and other stories that are related to that. Let's make the circle bigger.